G'day guys, how are you going? This is just a quick gear video, mainly so I can get a chance to do some more editing on YouTube videos before I actually hit the track. So we'll get straight into it and I'll show you the gear that I use, or I'm going to bring over for the AT, which is mainly what I carry anyway. I don't think I've actually bought anything specific for the AT. Most of the gear's from America, as you'll see as I'm going through it. My poles are about the only Australian made piece of equipment I've got. So let's get into it. Okay, firstly we'll look at shoes. I use trail runners, pair of New Balance 910 version 3s. Okay, nice and light. I have my own insoles in them. They're Australian insoles, so I don't know what I'm going to do over in America. I'll probably use what everyone else uses. Socks. I use a 2-sock system, okay, Injinji liners with darn tough socks. Heavy weight for the winter, for the start of the walk, and then I've got some lightweight ones which I'll swap out later as we get along. Okay, we've got a pair of Dirty Girl gaiters, okay, bacon. Then ex officio jocks. A pair of zip-off long trousers. Okay, these happen to be Columbia. I've got a couple of different kinds. In the pocket there, I'll carry a wallet, which is just by Luke's Ultralight, just a bit of Cuban fibre wallet, just to hold a few dollars in there. And my pocket knife, always carried in my pocket. And attached to that is a whistle. Not much use it being in your pack if you don't have your pack with you, so it's always on my body. Not that I plan on getting lost anyway. T-shirts, which I'll use the whole walk. I've got a couple that I'll swap out in with summer gear just to make sure that these aren't too scungy. They're just merino, lightweight merino T-shirts. I wear them in winter and in summer here in Australia, and we've just gone through a really hot summer. I was walking in 105 degree Fahrenheit temperatures, so well up into the 30s, and they were fine because they're very lightweight. Obviously you wouldn't wear heavyweight ones. The thing I like about them is the fact you can wear them for 7 days and they don't stink. If you use synthetics, I find mine start to get on the nose after a couple of days, and I can't even stand the smell of them. So I don't want to burden anyone else with that. The other thing I may wear, depending on how cold it is a lightweight fleece, a little quarter zip fleece. This one's from what is it, White Sierra. Okay, probably won't have that on because I tend to be fairly hot when I'm walking. If it's cool, I might just throw my windshield on. It'll have to be very cold for me to wear that while I'm walking. Okay, round out what I'm wearing. I've got a merino buff and my hat, which happens to be a outdoor research hat, nice and big brim. Okay, so it shades the back of the neck as well. The other thing that I'm carrying obviously is poles. Okay, I use Helinox poles, which are an Australian brand. Okay, they're nice and sturdy, fairly big. Adjustable. I need the poles for my tent, to put up my tent, so I carry poles all the time. I like the adjustment system. It's very easy and very solid. And around the top of each pole I put about 1 metre of masking tape just for repairs of that on the track, so that's on both poles. Okay, then we get into the pack. I've got a Z-Packs, it's open at the moment, sorry about that. I've got a Z-Packs Arcall Zip in Dyneema. I like the pack. It fits me really well. It's lightweight and it's pretty much waterproof. I won't say it's 100%. I've only had it out in the rain 2 days in a row. So it needs to go out for about a week of rain before I'll say that it's waterproof. But yeah, it's pretty waterproof, a lot more than most of your fabrics. Okay, I'll go through what's on the outside of the pack. I don't like having too much on the outside of the pack, although you have to, especially with all the winter gear in there. Okay, got a pair of, they're from Nothings. They're called Diamonds, whatever. They're just a pair of knockoff clocks. They're a lot tighter fitting. I find the Crocs at the back is very loose, whereas these are nice and tight. Obviously get them big enough to wear a pair of socks if you want to. But yeah, I've actually used these walking. They're quite good. So yeah, they're my camp shoes come water crossings. On one side, in the pocket, is my tent. It's the duplex, 2-person in Cuban, in a Cuban fibre roll top, just to protect it. Carry it on the outside, doesn't matter whether it's wet when you fold up then or dry. It doesn't matter if it's raining or not, because it's the first thing you need to put up anyway. So it's on the outside, means I don't have to go in my pack first before I put my tent up. So put the tent up and put the pack under a Cuban fibre cover or whatever, or under the umbrella, and that way I can put my tent up then, and everything else will be staying dry. Okay, so that's 10 on one side. On the other side, I don't know what size bottle I'll have over there. Okay, it's not in there at the moment. Let's just stick it in there. On the other side, I'll have a 1.5 litre to a 2 litre bottle with using the source water tube. Okay, as long as it's a pet type lid, it's fine. And on the bottom of that, I'll have another cut-off piece to use as a cup to tip water in when you're filtering, to fill up your bag when you're filtering. I like this. I like a suck tube. I've tried other methods of carrying water in bottles. I prefer a tube. You tend to drink a lot more regularly, and to keep the water up. On the outside, so you can see it, I don't like carrying water inside the pack, so that's the system I like. And with it is my umbrella. It's a Eurosherm hiking umbrella, hands-free. So it attaches to the belt and to the strap of the pack. And that way you've got your hands free to use poles, cameras, look at maps, whatever, under the shoulder of the umbrella. And it also shoulders the top of the pack, so it moves from side to side, so you can move the top from one side to angle it. It's a really good umbrella, and I've sort of got in the habit of carrying it now. Obviously good for sunshine too. You can't use it in a really thick bush or going cross country, but when you're on a track, most places you can tend to use it. On the front, coming down, that's the fitting for the umbrella. Just slides into there, and then there's a couple of straps on a couple of elastics on the belt that you actually attach it to. That's on one side. On the other side is my camera mount. The camera that's taking this now, it's a little Sony 200 AS200 action cam. That'll just sit there in its little thing, and I can turn it on and turn it off using the remote control. Okay, so I see something worth seeing, worth filming, turn it on at the back of the camera, and then I can have a look and make sure it's all in focus, etc., and then start recording. Below that's the inReach, the personal locator beacon, as well as it's an Explorer, so it's also got GPS functions and that as well on. You can send text, you can send emails through the phone, from the phone via this, because it uses the Iridium network. I don't know if I'm going to bring that yet. Still tossing up on that. On the front, I also carry a little pouch that sits between the harnesses. In summer, once I get rid of all my winter gear, I'll probably throw that in the pack, but for winter, it just blocks a little bit of wind and that at the front. In there, I can carry all sorts of things. At the moment, I've got my bone conduction headphones in there, just a bit of a buff just to wipe the face. My glasses case with a few things to clean it. Pen, paper, and obviously my phone will go on the front there. I'll have to get a phone when I get over there, because our phones don't work on the CDMA network that Verizon uses, so I have to get a cheapo phone when I get there. Also on the front, 2 Z-Pack pouches, one on either side. One on the right's always got my food in, so it's things like snacks you're going to eat unless you walk along. The one on the left, in there, will be things like, always carry my torch, which is a Tika Plus, I think it is, R Plus. It's rechargeable, so I can recharge it off my brick, as did everything I carry. Don't like carrying batteries. I'll have body glide, lip balm. Also in there when I get to work and bike will be sunscreen and insect repellent when I need it. Okay, so that's always on the left. I'm a bit anal about where I carry everything. It's a bit of a military thing, I think, but I like to know exactly where everything is, and I always put it back in the same place. Just means I can pack and unpack in the dark, and I know I've got everything, and I know where everything is to set up, so it's just something I like to do. Okay, in the back. Okay, you've got a big pocket on the back, a zip one, as well as the main compartment, which is roll top and also a zip. So you can unzip it as well to get into the main compartment. Obviously there's nothing in there at the moment because I've got no food. So we'll go through the outside part first. Always carry this on the outside. It stops me having to go into the pack during the day. Everything I should need for during a day, and regardless of weather, is in the outside one. Inside one is all the rest of my food and clothes and sleeping gear, etc. Okay, so I should not have to go on that during the day. Okay, so I've got cook gear. It's in a carbon fibre bag. As you'll see, most of my stuff is in carbon fibre bags. In there I've got a little titanium bowl. I've got a pot. I don't know what sort of brand it is. It's about 0.9 of a litre if I remember rightly. I keep it nice and clean. I only use water. I don't cook on the when I'm out bush. So yeah, it's just basically a bowl of water. There's a titanium windscreen. Okay, that's one I've made myself out of a bit of titanium foil. There'll be a gas bottle. Obviously I can't bring this one on the plane coming over there, but there'll be a gas canister which I'll pick up over in the States. Just a little bit of cleaning material, so there's a little sponge and a little bit of cloth just to clean it if I ever need to. I do use that same pot for all my blues, so that's why it needs cleaning. Little titanium stove. I think it's Snow Peak. Only weighs 1.8 ounces. Really good, nice and lightweight. So I like that. Hasn't got piezoelectric, so that's the other thing I have to carry in that kit, which I haven't got here at the moment. It's something I'm going to have to buy over there as one or maybe even two small big lighters, so I've always got a spare. Okay, so that's my cook gear. Also in there, there'll be a spoon. This is one off the Jetboil, a Jetboil spoon. And always put my toothbrush in with my cook gear. Just reminds me that I clean my teeth after eating every time. Okay, that's in a roll top bag. This is also then hung at night with my bear bag. So after I have my last brew just before bed, I can go over and I've got another mental blank. I've got another little carabiner that goes on this, and I hook it up on the same line that my food's on. Okay, toilet stuff. Okay, there's a little, again, it's in a little, this one's just a carry bag. My titanium shovel, a bit of hand sanitizer. This is a Dr. Brommer's, I think. It's in a plastic bottle just to spray. I find it better than those alcohol-based ones. And toilet paper. Oh, you don't need to see toilet paper. That goes into a little Ziploc bag to keep it dry. So that's close to the top because you never know when you're going to want that. Water purifying. Okay, what I carry besides that bottle is two 1.5 litre Nigel canteens, fold-up ones. Okay. On top of one, they've got the sauce water lids on them so that I can attach the soya filter straight to there and squeeze through. And the other one, I attach that's the flip lid off a smart water bottle. And when I'm filtering water, I'll always put a little bit of clean water in this one at the end and then squirt it back through the filter to clean it out. That attaches perfectly to a soya filter. So there's no need then to carry the syringe with you. Okay, I carry the full size one. Okay, so that fits on there for back flushing. Excellent. So one extra piece of gear I don't have to carry, and of course that gives me a carrying capacity, depending on what size bottle I've got on the side, anywhere from about 4 to 5 litres of water I can carry if I have to. So if I'm going to dry camp, I've got heaps of water on me. This is my bag for stuff I may have to put on during the day that needs to stay dry. Things like if I'm not actually wearing that fleece at the start of a day, I'll put it in there because it gets, sometimes it gets cold later in the day. Or if I take it, wearing it in the morning, I take it off, I can put it in this bag on the outside without going in my pack. In there I also carry a set of gloves and a beanie. They also may be wearing them first thing in the morning, but once I come to take them off I can put them in there and they'll stay dry if it starts to rain. Also in that bag is my Z-Pack's windshield. Okay, so wind shirt. Okay, nice and light, doesn't weigh anything. It's part of my layering system. So, you know, if it's windy and cold, I'll put that on. If it's windy and then turns to rain, I can leave that on and just throw my raincoat over the top. So it's all part of the layering system. And last but not least, this may be down the bottom, or depending on the weather report, it may be up the top. This is all my wet weather gear. Okay, I've got my pack cover. It's a carbon fibre pack cover. It's got a couple of little carabiners in there to hook onto the straps up the top, so keep it in position. I've got your rain skirt, or for men, a rain wrap, because men don't wear skirts. I suppose you could call it a rain kilt. So that's just, then I've got a, that one came from, I forget where I got that one from, somewhere in the States. Just the preset, Marmot Street preset jacket. And then I've got a couple of mittens. As you can see, I don't wear them a lot over here. But yeah, in the cold rain, they come in very handy. So that's the outside pocket of the pack. Okay. Now on the inside, and you can open it two ways. If I want to get into my food for some reason before the end of the day, I can go to the roll top at the top because I carry my food at the top. At the moment, I've got just a seat in there, which is just a bit of closed cell foam. A lot of uses. If you cut it a little beside the seat, you cut it a bit bigger than that. You can actually, I've got an actual pillar, but before that I used to use one of these, the Z-Pack's one with the fleece on the inside. But when you stick that in clothes, I always found that the clothes would bunch, and you know, it'd either be hard as a rock or your head would almost hit through to the mat. So what I did was I've got a piece cut bigger than this so I could roll and put all the clothes in between it and then put it into the Z-Pack's thing, and it made it a lot more comfortable for lying on. So yeah, it comes in handy. I've got a Z-Pack's food bag, their big food bag with their rope and string and carabiners all in there. And I've also got a, for a night, because I'm only going to use it at night when I cook, you know, one of those warmers for your food to stick in there. Okay, that one comes from Packet Gourmet, I don't know where I picked that one up from. Okay, so that's at the top. Working our way down, I'll just open this up. I've got my brick. It weighs a pound, 26,800 milliamp hours. So it's quite big, and it's got a spare battery for the camera that I'm filming on at the moment. That goes in there. It's in a little, besides being in carbon fibre bag that keeps it reasonably waterproof, it's also in a bubble wrap thing just to give it a bit of protection. My everything bag, everything that's small and I don't have a place for goes in there. My repair kit for repairing my pad and my carbon fibre stuff, and there's sewing needles and that in there. My first aid kit with a pair of tweezers and a pair of nail clippers, a few other bits of tape and that. I've got some cleaning things for glasses, you know, some earplugs, a pen, my American batteries, American wall socket so I could charge all my stuff. It's got a two outlet one and one of the cords for it. So that is basically all the little stuff. I think also in there are the rubber tips for my walking poles. So if I ever need to put rubber tips road walking and that, I can use them if I want to. And then you've got all my night stuff that's not going to come out once it gets packed away in the morning. First up is my down jacket. This one's by Bora Gear, I think it is. Very lightweight, only weighs about 5.6 ounces. It's a zip, quarter zip, so it's actually a pull-on jacket. no hood, as you can see. That's because I use quilts, so I have a separate hood which I'll use with my quilts or with my jacket. I mean, the amount of weight you probably save by not having a hood is not worth worrying about, but why carry one if you don't have to? Then we have clothes. Okay, I carry obviously a set of thermals, merino, and this one's actually merino and fleece. Quite nice, I don't mind it at all. It's an Under Armour one, but I don't think they make them anymore, but it's really nice and comfortable. Fleece merino bottoms, sorry. Spare pair of jocks, spare t-shirt, nice and bright. Okay, again, it's a merino. What else have we got in here? Pair of shorts. You really don't want to see me walking around the camp at night with just the thermal bottoms on. So a pair of shorts. Spare socks. That's the spare pair of both pairs of socks, so the liners and the thing. I don't normally carry a pair of sleeping socks. I find I sleep fairly warm anyway. I'm sort of tossing up whether I'll throw my, I've got a really nice pair of possum merino blend socks, which are really warm. So I'm sort of tossing up whether to throw those in or not. This is those people who've got X-Peds, a schnozzle, and it's really good for blowing up. And I actually have a piece, I haven't been able to find it yet, but I might have a look around it for summer. I actually have a piece that I made to fit over the end here, which has got holes in it, and then you fill it up full of water and hang it, and it's a shower. It's only a little, like a bottle top that just happens to fit over there. I haven't been able to find it, but if I can't find it, I'll make another one up. I have the X-Ped Winterlight. It's a really nice R4.9 pad. This one's a wide long. It's thick. It's 3.5 inches thick, so it's a nice thick pad on my side sleeper. So I love that. And a pillow. I've tried all different pillows. The one I like the most, and the biggest one, incidentally the biggest one, is the Cedar Summit Deluxe, Eros Deluxe. Really thick. It's about 14 centimetres, so 6 inches, close to 6 inches high when you blow it up. Nice and wide, and I like it. And weighs, okay, it weighs a bit more than some of the other pillows, but what the heck. And lastly, down the bottom is my quilt. I'm not going to pull them out. I have 2 quilts. I'm using 2 quilt system with the padding from Enlighten Equipment. I have a 30° Fahrenheit and a 50° Fahrenheit quilt. When I bought the 50, I bought it one size larger than the 30. And what that allows me to do, I was actually thinking about buying a 10° Fahrenheit just for this walk, but I'm unlikely to use that in Australia. So in the end I bought the winter straps, which combined can connect 2 quilts. So that way the 50° goes on the outside, the 30° goes on the inside, strapped down to the pad just like you do with a normally quilt, and those combined give me a down to 10° Fahrenheit. So weight wise, it weighs less than my sleeping bag that I used to own, which I thought was very light. It comes in at about 800 grams, so probably under 2 pounds. So I really like that, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. If you get a hot night, you're not stuck under a 10° quilt. You can leave one off and just use your 30, and so it gives you a lot of flexibility. And come summer, I'll obviously get rid of one of those and just carry one quilt. Inside of the pack, I've put some little carriers and things to carry things on. There's some elastic bands up there with a spare carabiner. You can just put all little things in there, some money, and if you want to put money in there. I've got my round the neck passport carrier, so that'll have my passport. That's got my passport in it now. Okay, so that's where I'll normally carry that on the inside of my pack, and it'll be inside a Ziploc bag. I've got another little bag down the bottom, which I position in there, just to put odds and ends in there and get them out of your pockets. So that's it. That's everything I'm taking. Obviously I'll have a watch on. I've got an ABC watch. So temperature and all the rest of the good things. My phone at the moment will have gut hooks Appalachian Trail app on it, and also a PDF of the thing. So I'm not carrying it in book form; it'll all be on the phone, and that's about it. So thanks for that. If you've got any questions, obviously you can leave them down below. But I don't think I'm carrying too much out of the ordinary, except probably the umbrella. But yeah, so I'll see everybody on the trail. Thank you.